Hello, welcome. It is me, Danyell Carmelita, your favorite tarot reader and astrologer. This week is powered packed. Like I said in my last week video, Mars moves into Scorpio, the Sun enters Libra, and when both of these changes into different signs, they start to make some interesting energy. This week is about passion and clarity, breakthroughs, and some real power struggles. If you want to know how the week is going to be for you, stay tuned and let's continue. 3, 2, 1. I love you. Okay, so here are the dates of the week. I always start off with Monday and I end with Monday. So I've actually talked about this September 22nd already, and on the 22nd we have Mars entering Scorpio, the Sun entering Libra. On the 23rd we have that same Sun. Once it enters that 0 degrees, it will oppose Neptune retrograding in Aries. It will trine Pluto and Uranus. We'll talk about that and what that pattern looks like. And on the 24th, Mars will square Pluto retrograding in Aquarius. Now let's talk about Mars entering Scorpio and the Sun entering Libra on the 22nd. And Mars in Scorpio, it likes to be here. It's at home. It's laser focused. It's very strategic. It's very passionate. Globally, this could be very intense when it comes to conflicts, when it comes to obsessions, when it comes to power struggle. But personally, it can give us some drive. We will be very investigative. There's a lot of secrets that could be coming out. There's willpower and courage to go all in. When the Sun enters Libra, it is officially Equinox, and we'll get more into that a little bit later. But Equinox is about balance, energy. It is somewhat of a New Year's Eve. We're at the halfway point, but we are focused on relationships. We're focused on justice, collective call for harmony, and Mars being in Scorpio here is going to remind us peace requires some strategic steps. As we look at this chart here, once Mars enters Scorpio, it's going to sextile Venus that is in Virgo. That is energy that you can work well with. It's energy you have to work on, but the sextile is positive. The positive energy is in the sky. You just have to put in some work. And this comes with male and feminine energy. This comes with working with teams and working with any type of females. Also with creativity and harmony and balance. Now it is dealing with some details and being focused on the details when it comes to creativity, when it comes to harmony, when it comes to justice. That is positive. On somewhat of a negative, we have a Yod, and this Yod is dealing with Mars. It's quincunx Uranus and Neptune. They're both retrograding. Neptune is in Aries at 0 degrees and Uranus is in 1 degree retrograding in Gemini. Neptune in Aries is at 0 degrees and it's retrograding. Mars is at 0 degrees as well. The planets are involved in what we call a Yod, and they're forced to work together to find a solution. The apex planet is Mars in Scorpio, so that is the focus point of the energy. Mars is the planet of action, desire, and aggression, and again, it likes to be here, right? So you are talking about intensity, powerful and focused energy. The themes are power, control, transformation, and deep-seated emotional truths. Now, Uranus retrograding in Gemini. This is one of the base planets. Neptune and Uranus, they're both base planets. And Uranus is about rebellion. It's about innovation. It's about sudden change, expect the unexpected. In the sign Gemini, which is huge about communication, ideas, and processing information, even travel within your community. This brings a need to break free from old mental patterns. While you have Neptune retrograding in Aries, another base planet. Neptune is the planet of dreams, spirituality, and illusions, deception, and corruptions, and secrets. Also endings, right? And when it's retrograding, it reveals the secrets, the illusions. What are the endings, okay? And it invites us to find a more authentic spiritual path. In Aries, it could bring a fiery pioneering energy, and sometimes energy that deals with the pursuit of actions with our dreams. Also fighting for the illusions. Even this is about illusions with war too and conflict. So the illusion and action is being involved. And now that Neptune retrograding in Aries may reveal a new spiritual path, it may reveal some secrets that are hidden, especially when we have anything dealing with war or violence. That could be brought up to surface because Scorpio is very investigative. Mental and emotional revolution. Uranus retrograding in Gemini prompts a revolution in your thought process. So you may be forced to question long-held beliefs and sudden downloads of information, or a change of perspective will trigger the desire for deep-seated change within your life. Some hidden desires also could be possibility, personal breakthroughs, challenges with Power struggles is really huge with this one, especially when you have people trying to rebel with the system, and even the youth rebelling, because Uranus and Gemini represents that. Mars in Scorpio is known for its emotions, so this energy could be intense. It could be kind of vital. Also, it could be something that's very rash and impulsive, because Mars is action, and Uranus likes to move very fast, so that could be a possibility when it comes to deceptions and secrets and corruption, maybe even flashes of anger. And with the Neptune, you could be some sudden feelings, secrets that could be very harmful, but they could be camouflaged as desires. This one, because Mars is at 0 degrees and Neptune is at 0 degrees, this one is really important to look out for on Monday. So be aware of that coming in. Once Mars enters Scorpio, it's just not going to be the most positive energy. I want you to be aware. At the same time, if you look at Mars in Scorpio, it's squaring Pluto that is retrograding at the same time in Aquarius. This is a very intense aspect. Mars again is war, it's our drive. Pluto is power and control. So very explosive energy, a lot of clashes, a lot of struggles of power. There's just going to be a lot of power. This could be a very rebellious day. This also could be a day of not just rebelling, but also just major power struggles, a lot of issues when it comes to students, when it comes to the intellect, when it comes to social media. Again, this is energy with podcasters as well, because we have that Neptune retrograding in Aries. Aries, the ruler of Aries is Mars, and it's in Scorpio. So a lot of deception. Mars represents secrets too, being obsessed with power. So personally, it can feel like you're hitting a wall, but it also gives you a strength to cut ties and transform and reclaim your power. A lot of forcing energy, and you want to avoid that if you can. This is not the time to go into dangerous places or dangerous situations. Avoid that around this time. Military is huge with this. War is huge with this. A lot of political power plays is huge with this, especially with that Uranus over there. Power plays and intellect and communication and social media is going to be a huge issue when it comes to conflict and war. This could work really good with allies, because that Venus is over there sextile. This could work really good with teams, because Venus also represent teams. This also could work really well with a female worker, because Venus is in Virgo, and that could work well as well. And at the same time, on the 22nd, Monday, you do have that sun at 29 degrees in Virgo. So there's an urgency, and this is an anaretic degree. So there's an urgency to close something off in the sign Virgo. Virgo represents diminishing and cleansing. I don't know how many times I have to say that, but Virgo also represents details and thinking analytically. Now, in just a few more hours that same day, the sun will enter Libra. Happy solar return to all my Libras. At the same time, it's immediately opposing Neptune retrograding in Aries. And the sun in Libra, we do have the equinox, right? So we do have this harmony and balance, and the balancing of day and night. But we also have this fogginess. We have this illusion. We have maybe this illusions when it comes to relationships, when it comes to alliances, when it comes to beauty and creativity. We do have that. So be careful with any promises. Don't get lost in any kind of fantasy. This is also being confused about a partner, a new partner, a brave partner, thinking that you can depend on a false relationship that seems like they are going to save the day. They're very courageous. They're very brave. This day of contrast can bring confusion at first with that Neptune, but there could be some clarity and breakthroughs with Uranus, because at the same time, the sun is going to trine Uranus, and then it's also going to have a Grand Trine with Pluto, and both of those are retrograding. This Grand Trine is dealing with a lot of social aspect and communication across the board. It's an air Grand Trine that is intellect and communication and socializing. A lot of things dealing with social media, a lot of things dealing with technology, transportation in the future. The sun represents our core identity, our purpose and ego. In Libra, it's a bit about justice, and it's about harmony and fairness and connecting with others, even if you're seeking beauty or creativity or just having a harmony and balance in life. Uranus retrograding in Gemini again is communication and is bringing fresh starts with intellect, with schools, with young energy. And Pluto retrograde in Aquarius is transformation. It also is control of speech. But there is death and rebirth in anything that's dealing with revolutionary or power dynamics within a group, anything dealing with technology. So you have them all together with this Grand Trine. A lot of intellectual and social breakthroughs. This could be rebelling, but it actually works. At the same time, there's secrets and illusion. It's almost like there's a rebellious energy and everyone thinks they're winning when they're boycotting, but it could be deceptive. It's not really what it seems. But there could be some transformative conversations. There could be collective change and social evolution, effortless manifestation. Grand trines are often associated with things that come very easily, and energy is it just lands on your lap, especially in the air aspect when it comes to physical air, when it comes to traveling, when it comes to communication. Everything is very positive, but at the same time, you have this opposition with secrets, illusions, endings. Neptune in Aries also represents a new medication, a new drug as well. Again, they are at 0 degrees. 0 degrees is very, very strong. So this opposition to the sun and relationships and partnerships could be a huge conflict. It is a tug-of-war effect. The two planets are in opposite signs, which means they are naturally at odds with each other. One is about the self, one is selfish, and the other is about relationships. So that could be happening personally or on a global scale. There could be somewhat of an identity crisis, and you are illusioned about yourself or the body or the physical, even the way you see your face, because Aries represents the face. This could be a huge thing on navigating relationships, and you may struggle with some boundaries because Neptune is about no boundaries. Again, a spiritual awakening, but then using escapism as it. This opposition can be profound time for spiritual growth anytime you're dealing with Neptune, because the sun is your consciousness, and it could bring some clarity to some mystical energy or mystical realm of Neptune. However, there is a risk of drugs. There's a risk of binge watching Netflix or overeating. So be aware of that. This is the energy of finding balance, because you have this opposition of self and being selfish versus a balance of some sort. So be aware of that. Neptune in Aries is very impulsive. It moves fast in Aries. I just want you to understand the major themes of the week is a lot of toxic cycles. There is deception. Neptune retrograding in Aries is the biggest energy ever. I did a video on this separately, so go ahead and check that out. I'm pretty sure I did a video on that. There could be some military escalations, a lot of power struggles in politics, financial upheavals, because Scorpio rules shared resources, it rules loans, it rules taxes. So there could be an issue with that. This could be a signal of disruptions with banks, digital currency, tech driven with AI, any of the crypto energy. Also too, a lot of collective uprisings happening this week. So I want you guys to understand that this week is a contrast of intensity. Mars gives us that drive, while the sun in Libra acts for balance. But that Neptune is bringing illusions. Uranus is moving fast, is very impulsive, is very short with time. So you do have that with communication. By midweek, there's a lot of power struggles that could be happening. I want you to avoid anything that's unsafe or anybody that's really controlling as well. Stay away from them. I just want you to understand that this week is going to be very intense. A lot of intensity. Just be aware of that. And that is the week of September 22nd. I want you to understand that I am pre-recording this. September 14th is when I'm pre-recording this. So I don't know if anything's happened before then, but I want you to be aware that this is what we have going on. This is the day after the eclipse as well. So a lot of intensity. I'm going to do a separate video on Mars entering Scorpio and talk about that and what that means about the collective behind my paywall. And if you guys want to know more, click the link in the bio and you shall receive. I will see you guys next time. Thank you for watching. Bye.
Bye bye.